So you posed a question about top 5 music producers, and we went through
Mount Rushmore of music producers.
Rushmore. That's what it was. There we go.
Yeah.
So it's a really good question. But now, as it's time has passed, right, and to revisit a Mount Rushmore of music producers, and if I had to have a cutoff year, say 2015, give or take a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
And we started to say, okay, who is the next wave of producers who will be on a new Mount Rushmore of producers? I would be hard pressed to say that we won't have a Mount Rushmore of music producers. As it stands right now, if things go in the way that it's going, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm so far out of the realm of hip hop or popular hip hop, like we were in our heyday, right?
Yeah.
To know who are the who's who of producers, right? So we know we got mega producers like Timbaland, not Jay-Z, JD. We got who's still out there? Pharrell and them still out there. They still getting it in. And I feel like we are still living off of the mega producers of old. We know the names of Just Blaze. We know the names of Swiss Beats. We know these guys. We got Metro. We got a few tags that might pop up every now and then, producer tags.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to say that any of those guys who have producer tags right now that you're hearing and where we're going, do we have an era of the mega producer? Is it gone now completely? I don't think we have a name like a Timbaland. We don't have a name like the Neptunes. We don't have a name like Swiss Beats. We don't have a name like, Teddy Riley.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see it as it stands right now. In the genre of hip hop. I'm not talking about R&B or whatever these subgenres are that fall into weird areas, but hip hop as it is. I'm not seeing the Large Professor, the Ninth Wonder, even Pete Rock. These guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
It's possible.
I think you're right. I think there are names that exist, and I'm having a hard time calling them right off the top of my head at this moment. But there's some of the younger guys that have names out there. They're names. But the mega producer, nah, man, that's done, man. I think it's done. Yeah. I mean, like you mentioned Metro Boomin, and he's probably like one of the last little eras where they was like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that could be considered one of the mega producers.
You got Hitmaker, you got
Hitmaker doing his thing, but Hitmaker's our age. You know what I'm saying? Like Hitmaker's like 40 now. You're right. He don't really count.
Absolutely. So matter of fact, does Hit Boy even count?
Yeah, Hit Boy. I don't know Hit Boy's age, but Hit Boy strike me as a little older. Hit Boy got hot in like the tens area. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like
so he would be past that wave because I'm talking 2015.
He's past that wave.
Give or take a year or two.
Yeah, he got hot with the Kanye and Jay-Z album. In Paris, the Ends in Paris. I think that might have been the record that really blew him up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's go back, bro. Like Hit Boy don't count. Like we talking about somebody from like like you said, from 20, maybe 16 forward that popped. I don't know, man.
Because
it falls into the mega category.
When matter of fact, a great producer, good producer, or a solid or talented producer doesn't necessarily put them in that class of mega producer. Because to me, when I say mega producer, it's such and such produced that. I gotta go. You beat feet to go listen to it. You know what I'm saying? You do whatever you got to do to find out. Yo, this is. Oh, he got Kanye producing the album. Oh, he got he. And when the producers all up in the video. You know what I'm saying? Back in that day when Timbaland did a joint, he was in the video with the artist. He might have his little speaking part, and he's putting his little sprinkle on it, making it hot.
Yeah.
Where's the producer that's making the joint hot?
The mega producer is when you say, I got so-and-so that did this record. You know what I mean? Like the mega producer is that. The mega producer is the one that you go and get to do a whole project with. You know, the mega producer is the one that crosses over out of hip hop and does some joints with some artists you don't expect. And then you be like, what? He did that too? Like, you know, like, so I think that's done. Like I say, Metro might be the last little young dude that kind of showed a little bit of range, you know what I'm saying? Of working with all the big names. They kind of got that cachet, but even then, maybe just slightly under the value that them guys got back in the day, just because the producer meant so much back in the day. I don't think it's his fault, but it's just the era that he came up in.
The era that he's in, yeah. I mean, I kind of miss that. Like,
and Metro's not that new either, though. We keep saying Metro. Metro's been around for about 12 years himself, though. Like, so he kind of fall in the last category.
Yeah. Because I want to say I heard Metro coming around like around 2012, 2015, 13.
Yeah, he go back to around 12-ish. Like,
but only reason why I would throw Metro went to it because he wasn't a huge name in 2012 or whatever. He was, he was creeping in.
Yeah, he was with 808 Mafia and all them guys. They were always Lex Luger. They was all kind of in that little range together.
Yeah. But it's like, I kind of miss that era. And I didn't think that I would, but it's kind of something I'm fond of. Being somebody who produces music too. It's like, man, at one point, having a producer was more major than having an artist. It could be whatever artist it was, but if it was produced by this person, that's all you needed. I just need to get
a mega producer will break an artist.
Yeah,
break an artist like that. If you wanted to break your new artist, you go get a record from the Neptunes. You know what I'm saying? Go get a Timbo record and break them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was the thing. Swizz was breaking everybody.
So I want to know who are the go-to producers, young producers, because it still feels like it's the same name still. Is if you want to break an artist, go get a Neptunes beat. Still, it's crazy. It's 25 plus years past the Neptunes break into the industry. That you still go to Pharrell and Chad and them to break a record, or you still go to Timbo to break a record, or you still go to whoever. Like, who are you going to? Who's breaking records outside of? I feel like the artists are carrying the producers more so now. I mean, it's email me a beat, or I find a beat somewhere, and that's how we're curating projects now.
No, it's that what you said. You know what I'm saying? It's that. But at the same time, and I wish I'd have been a little more prepared for this conversation to name some of these guys by name. There are guys that exist. They all slip in my mind. I know there's an ATL Jacob. He's a guy that's out there.
If they're slipping your mind, they might be good producers and they might be making good songs, but the key term, and you brought this back to me, was mega producer. Producer.
Yeah.
Producer.
There's a lot of hot producers. You're right. There's a lot of hot producers that are doing hot things. They're working with a lot of people, but they not mega yet.
You had the heat makers. You knew that was a heat maker. We had Trackmaster. You know that was a Trackmaster's joint.
Yeah.
So now I'm going back to 2000s again. That's all the names I got in my back pocket is producers you go to from that era, and that's a Trackmaster's beat. That. Hey, yeah, Hitmakers made that joint. Or that's Just.
Yeah.
Or that's Jay. Do it. We know this is Justice League.
Yeah. Okay, what about Weezy Out of There? You know him, don't you? I know you heard that. They say that on all the little beats and stuff.
I know the tag. So here's the thing.
Okay.
So here's the thing. All right, so we got, let's call it this. We got tag producers.
Yeah. We got tag
producers.
You know what? You know what I think happened though? I think when the price tags on the producers dropped, the need to brag about your producer dropped also. You know what I'm saying? Like,
maybe so.
Because look, check it out. I seen a clip where Timbaland was he was doing an interview with some producers. He was like, man, y'all killed the production game. I used to get $500,000 a track. Y'all killed that. He was like, so, y'all ain't, he was like, nah, it's not as lucrative. The game ain't as good for producers as it used to be. But, he was like, it's a lot more opportunity for everybody.
It's about how many tags can you get on a record now. Not about how big of a record you can make. That's what made the mega producer. Mega producer is thinking how big this record can be. The tag producer is now, how many tags can I get put out there? How many tags can I put on record? That's it.
Yeah.
You know, which kills me, because what I liked about our producers back from my day is you get a sense of that producer's personality in the record. You know, or who's ever creating the atmosphere or the vibe for the song, you're kind of getting that personality drug into it. You don't get that with the tag. And that was fun.
Yeah.
You know, that was pretty dope when you knew that producer produced that record, and they might be all up in the video, but you're getting that personality with the record. And it became great for the producer. Now, it was a point to where it was a little weird, where the producers became bigger than the artists. So now the artist is kind of taking a little bit of power back from the producer, which is fine. But now we got to find that balance. We got to fine tune it. We got to find that balance of giving more back to the producer, letting the producer still have their oomph in the record.
In order to do that, though, they got to produce the record. That's the problem. We're talking about a lot of beat makers now. That's the problem. It's a lot of beat makers who make beats, email them, or post them on a website, and you buy it from them. It's no producing. You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna get all the love because you ain't do nothing but send me a beat. I did everything else. My engineer, I freestyled and my engineer did the whole job. Like, so I don't need you as producer. You know what I'm saying?
Matter of fact, I think the engineers need to be bigger than the producers and the artists now. The engineer,
today, yes.
Matter of fact, so
the engineer's the star.
Where it was the producer, it was the Berry Gordy, it was the Quincy Jones, it was the you know what I'm saying,
John Doe.
You know, really making a record.
Right.
And it became the artist. Now it's the engineers that's making these artists sound good. It's the engineers that's making the producers sound good.
Yeah. Yeah. All of that. That's where we at now. The engineer go in there, you freestyle for about 3-4 minutes till the beat run out. And then you say, hey, engineer, I'm about to go smoke some weed. Make me a hot song. And then you come back and the engineer done auto-tuned your out-of-tune notes up and made you sound like you said something.
It's the song I just
looped
did.
one part and made a chorus out of it. Yeah, you come back. I was hot, man. I killed that freestyle. No, you didn't. I looped up the best part, made it into the hook, and then, you know, I cleaned the rest of that vocals up.
You brought this to my attention about stems, right? I didn't care about stems. Like, you just make your sounds, you put it together, create your record. But now, when a producer produces a record or makes the beat, you got to send the stems so the engineer can go and change what the producer did. So a lot of times the producer might hear their record back and be like, I produced that? Yeah. I made that beat? Because that beat don't sound like what I sent. Because you took the stems and I added a little bit of trinkle on this sound and made this sound more in key on this, and because I got those stems. So now, for those people who don't know what stems are, they're the individual tracks to every sound that's in a beat. And these engineers are going in and they're making magic with those stems. Mm-hmm. So the show is really on the engineer now.
Yeah, they're reproducing the whole record to actually make it into a full actual song.
So who's the real producer then?
The engineer. They need to start giving these engineers production credits, man. Straight up and down, man. If you go in there and you freestyle over a 2-track, then get an engineer credit. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you order the stems and send it to the engineer and make him fix it up, hey man, get him his production credit. And the producers need to learn to produce if you're not actually doing that, man. Find your artist and actually know how to make a song, man. Like, that was one of the I started producing immediately once I started making beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, it went hand in hand. Giving advice to the rappers you working with, telling them what because it's got to be a creative process between two people. It just can't be one person. And that's why I think a lot of the music has become watered down, because people go in and do it by themselves and they never get no other feedback on the record. You know what I mean? Like, to find out if I'm going in the right direction. They're not collaborating. There's no collaboration to it. Music has always been a collaboration. like forever.
Even
You go to Beethoven
daily.
and it's stuff written on a piece of paper, but when somebody gets it, they put their touch on whatever notes is written down. You know what I'm saying?
You got that conductor conducting it and making sure that this piece comes in just right and that part hits right here and this part comes right there. And I learned this process from jazz, being a big jazz head and looking at, saying old Miles Davis records and seeing all the pieces that came together to make this record what it was, whether it was John Coltrane being put on this and then Bill Evans playing the keys on this and then Miles Davis writing the whole thing, putting it together and having this drummer over here, bass player or whatever, and then pulling it all together to create this sound, this beautiful sound that we love called music. And it's gotten a lot, we're so far from it, so far removed from it.
Yeah. So to answer the question, the mega producer era is dead. Maybe one day it'll be back, but it's gone for now.